Title: Shadows of the Sun. In the sprawling, bustling city of Aba, eastern Nigeria, the days were a blur of constant struggle. The people there worked tirelessly, yet life had become an uphill battle for survival. The streets were filled with vendors, artisans, and hopeful traders who fought to make ends meet amid a storm of uncertainty. Even those with university degrees found themselves joining the ranks of hawkers, selling trinkets, snacks, and anything that could keep food on the table for another day. Everyone was in a race against time, against the economy, and, it seemed, against their very government. At the helm of this fractured nation was President T-Pain. Known for his bombastic promises during election campaigns, T-Pain had once stirred up the hopes of the people, promising change, empowerment, and a revival of the nation's glory. But it didn't take long for his true colors to show. Corruption ran deep in the veins of his administration. While officials basked in luxury, jetting off to exotic locations for vacations and ceremonies, the people back home scraped by, enduring ever-worsening inflation, fuel scarcity, and ruling power blackouts. Chigazi, a single mother of 3, had once been a proud seamstress known for her fine handiwork and colorful designs. But her business crumbled as the economy nosedived. The cost of imported fabrics had tripled within months, and customers were increasingly scarce. Her children, once used to 3 square meals a day, now ate only twice or, on particularly rough days, had to share what little she could afford. One evening, she sat with her friend, Ifeanyi, on the dusty steps of her workshop, now closed for the day. They watched as darkness fell over the city, a symbolic cover that hid both the crumbling roads and the faces of the weary. The government had yet again increased the cost of fuel, and the electricity tariff had skyrocketed. Yet, despite the price, the power barely stayed on, making work all but impossible for those who depended on it. "Did you hear? They say T-Pain just built another mansion in Dubai," Ifeanyi said, shaking his head. "Our taxes, our suffering, it all goes into funding his luxury abroad while we rot here." Chigazi sighed, her fingers absent-mindedly tracing the hem of her worn-out dress. "It's not just him. It's the whole system, Ifeanyi. Every promise is just an empty word, a trap to keep us hoping, while they reap the rewards." Life had taken on a grim pattern. University students were striking once more as teachers went unpaid. Hospitals became overcrowded as the sick piled in, unable to afford private care. People turned to herbalists and traditional healers, desperate for remedies they could actually afford. The oil-rich nation seemed to bleed wealth, but none of it trickled down to the common man. And then there was the unrest. Youths, disillusioned and angry, took to the streets in protest. They called out corruption, police brutality, and the failure of the government to provide even the basics. But with each protest, the response was the same: soldiers in the streets, arrests, tear gas. People were intimidated, silenced, and sometimes disappeared. Nkechi, Chigazi's eldest daughter, had once been a lively girl, full of ambition. She had dreams of becoming a doctor. But, like many of her generation, her hope had been stifled by a system that rewarded only those with connections or wealth. Nkechi had to drop out of school, spending her days helping her mother with what little business they had left. One day, Nkechi returned home after trying to sell homemade plantain chips on the roadside. "Mama," she said, her voice tired, "I saw them today. The youth corps members protesting, saying T-Pain must go." She hesitated, her voice laced with bitterness. "Mama, is there no way out of this? Will we always live like this?" Chigazi's heart ached as she looked into her daughter's eyes, those eyes that once sparkled with dreams but were now clouded with despair. She wanted to tell Nkechi that things would get better, that change was coming, but even she could no longer believe her own words. Every night, as the people of Aba huddled in darkness, the tales of hardships echoed through the streets. Tales of families torn apart by poverty, children with stunted growth, skilled artisans now reduced to beggars. In the silence of the evening, Chigazi would whisper her nightly prayer, a prayer for survival, for strength to endure another day.